now set. So our journey is happiness and wisdom. We already discussed, a lot of discussion took place that happiness without wisdom, not possible, and wisdom without happiness, not possible in our life. So to gain that wisdom, satsang is essential. What is satsang? Company of the real. Why the company of the real, or the satsang, or this communication, this consistent listening and learning are important? Why it is important? Tell me, since the last session, how many times you were so busy? I am busy, it is situational. I am stressed, it is situational. I am married, it is situational. I am divorced, it is situational. I am poor, it is situational. I am rich, it is situational. And still we don't like to accept it. Then continue suffering. I am very busy. Suffer, continue to suffer. So what happens, sometime even intellect understands clearly, mind does not want to follow. No, everything is okay, but. And that but causes lot of problem. You don't know my situation. After all, we all are seekers. We have been attending these sessions for so many weeks, months, and years, and still we don't want to change. We define ourselves based on the situation. Are you busy? Really busy? Tell me. Your mind says yes. Eat entire breakfast in one bite. You are busy. Take one step and reach my home. Why? Because you are busy. You are busy, so sleep for a minute. Get refreshed and get ready. Now this thing doesn't happen. If this thing doesn't happen, we are defining ourselves based on the situation outside. That makes the life difficult. And now see what happens. That is why the satsang is necessary. Now you see what happens. You make your life easy. Easy means all kinds of comfort. Can you get rid of the busy trap? You cannot get rid of the busy trap. Even if you have an easy life, the life of comfort and luxuries, and still I'm running after, and still I claim that I'm intelligent. No, I'm sorry to say that. We all are intelligent. You guys are more intelligent. Did you find it easy to live? So now you see that then there is an easy life. So there is a comfort trap. The very comfort trap makes my life difficult. That is another delusion. Satsang helps us to release that, understand it. You may not understand today, but you will understand if you are consistent, but you contemplate and reflect. So what happens? Problem is there when we have an easy life. Problem is there when we have a difficult life. That is why we use the word wisdom. Wisdom. Problem, we have a problem, we have a son, we have a problem when we don't have. You ask anything, if your mind experiences situational, did you understand situational? Because I will be happy if if it happens like this. I will be happy if I get married. I will be happy if I get divorced. Situational. That is what the situational is. So mind runs after the situation and wants to make myself happy, avoiding pain, not possible. Do whatever you want to do. And one of them in the modern life, we get, we brag, I'm very busy, don't disturb me. Don't disturb. You are already disturbed. What to disturb you? You are already disturbed because you are busy. At a physical location, you have 5 appointments going to one location to other. Yes, I have 5 things to complete, obviously. But situational is real, that makes my mind busy. And when the mind is busy, what happens? Even if whether you have an easy life or of your difficult life, there is no easy living. There is a busy trap. You cannot get rid of it. Think. So it demands. Satsang means you listen and learn, sit down, prepare the notes, and then you contemplate and reflect on it. The more you contemplate and reflect, that delusion dissolves. When the delusion dissolves, you might have experienced a couple of times if you have contemplated and reflected. Yes, it is seen in sharing your experiences. You find that you are flying in the sky. That busy trap is gone from the mind. You have 10 things to do, but still, that's situational. Because if that situational garbage doesn't leave the mind, you cannot set the value in the mind to receive the knowledge from the intellect. So have you seen that we say, oh, I understand everything, but still I am not able to reach to that state. Value goes behind. Have you heard, you can ask Christina, that some people, they are 70 years old, but their mental age is hardly 15 and 20. They are still driven by the sensuality, excitement, agitation. They simply live the same kind of life. Mental age. Huh? So we say it is a mental maturity. I have a wonderful thing for you to remember, to understand it. I know that why we use those metaphors, so that you don't forget it. Our commitment is towards the Eastern wisdom. Means knowledge. Knowledge removes that ignorance. So you see that scientist, I won't use the word so-called, but because it gives me some reference. So 1 year dog, Jerry, 1 year medium-sized dog. You have a medium-sized dog, I have seen it. So 1 year old medium-sized dog is roughly equivalent to 15-year-old human being. You'll not forget, I know. That's why I find those metaphors to help you. So first year of the dog is equivalent to 15 years of human life. American Kennel Association, the club, they say it. The second year of the dog is equivalent to 9 human years. So it means 2 dog years is equal to 15 plus 9 is 24. Third year, you have to calculate the 5 years. So I may be like 15 and 16 years of age. 60 years of age. Uh, Now they have not understood. Eastern wisdom says the fast aging of the body prevents your mental development. So animals. Look at the elephants. They live for 100 and they almost 80, 90, 100 years. So they say that they have a good brain. So the fast aging of the dog prevents the mental development. They behave in the same way. Same thing like other species. What kind of an animal I am in the human frame? That you have to find out. I'm not pointing to anyone, even if I also don't know it. An animal mind means impulsive mind. That is the conclusion I want to draw. Animal mind is conclusion. And you give the bone to a dog. Dog is absolutely busy. uh, I think you all have tried, those who have pets. So I want to make a further statement. When the mind is engaged in situational happiness, seeking pleasure, it constantly blames the world because the world outside makes me busy. I cannot set the value. So the life is not going to change. Mind falls into unconsciousness, follows the impulsive nature. Huh? No, I should do lot of. No, let me leave it. So we are not against anything. What we are, Eastern wisdom is not against anything in the world. But it says you should have a reality check. You are busy, find out, mind you sit down, why you are busy? What happened? Is it situational? Drop it. So in one way, we can say, we again perceive in a different way. When we say that you are 60 years old and your mental age is hardly 20, so we look with reference to the situational. One, impulsive nature. Two, animal nature. That I'm not able to evolve. I'm not able to rise in consciousness. I still have those sensual desires even after 70. I don't find that level of evolution, and that blocks my progress. It prevents me to find the real self. Topic is the same, happiness and wisdom. We want a happiness, not situational. We want the happiness within. Wisdom is required to recognize it is situational. So when it is situational, drop it. But to drop it, we need a discernment and dispassion. And I already discussed satsang. When we follow the power of discernment in the intellect, follow dispassion, it results into detachment. Detachment is not something that we are glued and we are sticking to something or some person, some relationship. Why we feel we are stuck? Situational. Situational is real. I'm so happy I'm telling you the story of this 89-year-old woman. Many of you have met. She told me and it gave me a topic. Oh, these are my golden years. What a good statement. These are my golden years, 89-year-old. Why? I have more time to practice and find my real self. I don't have any responsibilities. We are young, so we have many responsibilities. Mind it, it should not be situational. The moment it is situational, it will not make any change in your life. That is why, that is why our masters thought of building a monastery. First 20 years, devote yourself, study Eastern wisdom to study yourself. Besides that, we were taught about, oh, in the future you're going to have a family, you're going to marry, so find out what kind of a relationship. You should have a physical relationship with the spouse, mental relationship, emotional relationship. First few years, the physical takes the higher value, then should be emotional. Now the emotional takes the lead. Now the mental takes the lead. Now the intellectual takes the lead. So you will continue to have the good relationship. Are you getting it? But if it is not evolved, then you will have a problem. Why? Because I claim that it is situational. They're just giving one example. So now how it is related to the value? We are just talking about the value. Did I tell you Eastern wisdom, teacher, knowledge, intellect? In between we have vasanas. Vasana means the past impressions. And that forces me to get the situational happiness, mind, emotions, this is, and value. So you move into these lives, different stages of the lives, with values set by the knowledge. Life is good. Life is good here and now. In other way, this is another very, very delicate and very subtle understanding. At the surface level, we say if you have a mental maturity, you can manage. But now we have understand that what exactly is the mental maturity. So when you have the mental maturity, you can endure the challenges of your life. You will not be emotionally disturbed. You'll be able to maintain your calm and the poise in your life. What happens? Easy living, even in difficult situation. We have to face those difficult situations. Nature. Can I tell the nature, reverse my age, let me look like 20 years old? Not possible. I have to accept it. So I have to accept the limitations of this age also. One example. Like this situation. So what happens? The master says I have to endure it. What I cannot change, I have to endure it. What I can change, I have to self-discipline it. Why? I have to set the value of the mind emotionally to the knowledge. Why? To live an awakened life. To live an awakened life. We have already discussed about what is this awakened life is. And that is the reason. It does not mean that you like pasta and you don't eat pasta. No, you eat it. But inner attitude is not situational. So it does not create an attachment. It does not create a delusion. Only that can help you to lead to a choiceless awareness. We have been using it. Otherwise, It is not possible. In the modern age, we are all busy, so that is why I thought better to relate this busy trap by the impulsive mind, how we can navigate to attack those past impressions, habitual routine, so that we can build the inner resilience to have an easy living. So, awakening does not mean that awakening lies in the sky. It lies in our daily attitude and behavior, daily expression, how I live, how I think, how I speak, how I act. Buddha did not have three eyes after awaken, did not have 3 ears. Physically, they remain the same. So you see, this is the finest way to bring a balance between the uncontrollable nature and my relationship with that nature. I cannot walk. Obviously, you may have some problem with your knees or the legs. But why it should be situational? Take care of it, finished. Why? Uncontrollable nature. Can you make sure from today that you will not commit any mistake from today? Is it possible? My relationship with the nature. So I will see what happened in the real life situation and I will, accordingly, I will act. But not, I will not blame the situation outside. Easy living comes from inside. Difficult life, easy life comes from outside. They both are situational. And if I believe it, I'm living in ignorance. Well, if I'm living in ignorance, I gave an example that today I am, I am 15 years of age, according to the calculation of the dog. First year, 9 years, second year, no, first year is 15 years, and second is 9, and after that, divide your age. If you are 60, 2 years have gone, or 62. So 60 is left, 60 divided by 5, so 12. 12, 14, 14, 15 years. I'm talking about the mind. So if guided by the ignorance, I will not be able to change myself even after listening. My problems, my pain, my my anxiety, my duality, my stress are situational. Why it is situational? Mind with that mental immaturity is attached and clinging to it. And after that, there are other factors also. I build a strong ego. No, no, you don't know. I'm so busy. Really busy. Remain busy and continue to suffer. So where I'm going again in today's session, the easy living, first I should understand it. So now mentally I have understood it. Easy living demands further self-inquiry. That is what we are doing. Why we are doing this self-inquiry? To find the real self. That state of the mind is capable, is qualified to do this self-inquiry. Not otherwise. We may be genius, but I'm not looking at my subjective side of my personality attitude. There are hundreds of researchers, they are genius. Yes, we should appreciate them. But this journey demands satsang so that more and more you are referring to yourself. So self-inquiry, it leads to the self-realization. Self-inquiry reveals the pain points in our daily living. Self-inquiry reveals the pleasure points in our daily living. So my mind wants to hook it to the pleasure points, wants to avoid the pain points with reference to the world outside. That's why I'm busy. But when you follow these simple tips from the teachings of the Eastern wisdom, you find the life is so easy, living is there. So satsang means the company of the real. What it means by the real? Mind is moving. We are constantly moving the mind from the delusion to dispassion to recognize the knowledge that is already understood and present in the intellect to build a value. Mind still has a lot of doubts that is there a real self or not? Is there a permanent peace and happiness or not? That doubt, emotionally charged by my past impressions, and I follow the situational happiness again and again. Otherwise, you will not move into meditation, even if I gave you the 2 hours of meditation. It is the mind, the past impression that triggers. Can the body move by itself? No. Body is inert. There are a lot of things that we will continue to. And easy living can be discovered by the self-inquiry. Self-inquiry, the very first thing is the satsang. We have laid down a simple equation. Satsang must lead me to a sense of detachment. Detachment which makes me busy. I'm using the word busy for so many things, for anything and everything. And detachment leads to despair, freedom from the delusion. Freedom from the delusion leads to steadiness of the mind, natural state of steadiness. Like the 2 or 3 years old, he does not have lot of thoughts. So what is settled in the mind? This is real, this is unreal. This is delusion, this is dispassion. Mind, you are going to work. Why you are thinking about your honey at this moment? Stop this. No, I love my honey. You see the situational? You have not to tell your spouse, otherwise the spouse will say you don't think about me. It is an inner practice. think, think. So we understand now the mind starts removing that doubt. What is the nature of the real? And gradually by the satsang, one, if you really follow each and every step, contemplate and reflect and practice, you become a seeker. Once a seeker, always a seeker. I have repeated many a times. I have repeated, once a seeker, always a seeker. So prick your mind when you have an anxiety. Am I a seeker? And then internally return to that state of the calmness. Like this, golden years. Ask anyone, ask anyone over 80s or exceptions are there. How everything is okay now, at this age. So at this age, how can you live in peace and happiness? You have so many. We become philosophical, and if you ask them, what you didn't have the problem at the age of 20? No, I had a lot of problems. I was a rebellion. I fought with parents, and I left the house. So what about in the age of the 40? Oh, I married and divorced. So you continue to have a problem since you are born. You are a problem. You don't have a problem. You are a problem. You don't have a problem. Don't say that. Are you getting it? And then we also, we sympathize. We sympathize, oh, you have a lot of problem. But we want to leave those people. We want to escape from that. We want to keep a distance. This guy is always living with the blame and complaint. You may have an experience of that. Don't do that in your life. Don't do that in your life also. You see, this is what the satsang, we have to inquire each and every aspect of it. Oh, I have a need, for example, you have any problem? Yes, get it right. Find out what is the possibilities. But don't allow the mind to cook the story that you are suffering. Because that suffering is situational. And that helps us to start a life. That helps us to start a life of seeker. We will understand. So in satsang, understand, in satsang, there is always a peace, happiness, joy, wisdom, and the love. We are not talking about that, how much I have a pain, what medications I'm taking. Our medication is satsang. Our medication is understanding. Our medication is living in that wisdom. We learn all situational happiness and pain must go. Situational happiness is also a delusion, and situational pain is also a delusion. Now everything is okay, but my son has a big problem. Okay, really? So accept his problem. You suffer, make him free. I should get rid of that emotional content, impulsive nature. First thing, I must get away from the delusion. satsang helps dissolve the delusion and attachment. I'm returning to help you just become aware of what. So, what happens, once you get rid of that situational stuff, mind moves into the humility, and that is why Vidya Dadati Vinayam, knowledge leads to humility. Humility, mind is free, mind is setting the value, it breaks up, setting the value, it breaks up. That makes you a qualified seeker, and the qualified seeker leads to the inner wealth. Yes, it also helps you outside, but inner wealth is very important. The women, who lives nearby, does a session separately. She's around maybe 67, 68. Two things, you have to understand that. What happens if your mind is free from the situational stuff? Whether it is making your life easy, continue doing it, but get rid of the mental stuff. Or, so about this 67-year-old, so she sent a message to me last week. First scenario, she was lazy, retired, getting the social security, have a good house, good return, what we say, the pension of the social security, and she was living alone. She has all the kids, they are settled, but she was lazy. Used to wake up late, never did any physical practice, physical act. At this age, I should do some physical act. But then she wrote to me that she started going to the gym. It has been 2 weeks. I got good friends. And then I'm absorbed into the meditation. She came out what I taught you today, what you learned today. That is the revelation. If those revelations starts happening in your life, just know that you are a great seeker. Don't wait for me to certify. We don't give any certification of any training here. So she said that, is it really true that I got rid of all the situational stuff from my mind, which helped me to reduce and minimize the pain in my knees? And I said, answer is yes. You don't believe me? Don't believe me. You believe this science? Yes. If you believe this science, Google. About 70 years ago or 60 years ago, there is a sickness impact profile. That is a questionnaire being applied to thousands of patients, whether the mind and the emotions are contributing to the pain and the suffering of an individual. And they found out it contributes more than 50%. But if you keep your mind free, here I'm using the word situational stuff, you will minimize your pain and the suffering. That is the importance of the value in the satsang. And I will remind you, so that keep your keep your handy. The first step, study the Eastern wisdom to study yourself. Second is with a specific attitude and behavior set inside my mind. I perform all my activities in my personal, professional, social, and family life. Means what? I'm going too far from the situational. I am not falling into a busy trap. Why? Because I don't relate those activities which claims that I am busy with my ego. Ego is another barrier. Another step, the fourth step, abundant desire for pleasure seeking desire. I have to get rid of it from the mind. Pleasure seeking desire. I'm going to eat pasta for pleasure. I'm going to eat pasta because I'm hungry plus the pleasure. It will work. So you have created a barrier between the situational. What I discussed, do you remember? Binding desire and unbinding desire. That is the fourth step. Remove your sins. We discussed about the sins. Recognize the defects of the worldly pleasure. Always remember, situational happiness, situational pain, defect is there. Tell me if there is no defect. Have you ever experienced any pleasure which is 100% situational? It continues forever. So I have to recognize the defects in the worldly pleasures. Recognize it. If you don't recognize, then you will marry and after that you will divorce. That is what happens. So then what happens, seventh and the eighth step, by which you strengthen the desire to find the real self. What is that intense desire to find the real self? You are a seeker. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Place how you refer, how your mind understands place, position, and posture. So, this is a group session, so one may start. The mind of a one person will go that I'm sitting on the infinite space. So they will progress much faster. But others say that yes, I'm sitting here in my house with lot of challenges. This beer guy does not understand how I'm going through. So you are already in a busy trap. Place, position, and the posture, and being comfortable. Comfortable. Yes. Do you experience the comfort in the body or not the comfort of the body? Check it. It's all a matter of awareness for the mental maturity, not to live with the being carefree. You are just carefree, as if you're just listening to me, these simple instructions with a higher and a greater awareness. How you reach to that higher and a greater awareness, your mind said yes to what we discussed today. I'm just, giving you the as clarity as possible, because if the mind said yes, it is ready to set a value. Oh, but I did not listen with my attention, I was thinking of lot of stuff. Keep on thinking. That's your choice, being carefree. And in that being carefree, you are fully aware. I have separated all the thoughts, situational stuff, from my Then you go to the flow of the breath. The flow of the breath is there. Oh, yes. Your mind jumps the way it used to jump on the situational thoughts, causing you the delusion. Now it is jumping inside. Can it happen? Yes, it can happen today also. You may feel frustrated as compared to other fellows. You may find it that your mind can jump deeper into it. That that revelation can take place anytime. It is not subjected by the time and the location. As the flow of the breath, the first neighbor, the world outside. Now if you pick up all the 8 steps, they are embedded in these 5 neighbors. So I recognize the worldly defects, and that is why the world outside is a neighbor. The body is also a neighbor, second neighbor. So body puts me into the impulsive animal mode. I already gave you an example. You cannot say I'm 66 years old. I'm hardly 14 years old. With an example of a dog. So I have to check whether so the body has become old, but the mind is same. No, time has come to change. Third neighbor is the energy body. Energy body. Hunger and the thirst. The moment you are hungry and thirsty, your mind jumps to a Coke or a drink or water. That makes a sense. Or pleasure seeking food. It doesn't mean that you leave it. You have to, you all these 8 steps are embedded here if you contemplate, reflect, and find it out. And mind, yes, we have hunger and thirst, and it is related to the mind also. So I have to check impulsive nature or otherwise. Intellect is the I thought and strong likes and dislikes. So can I say from today, when the mind says, I like this guy or this girl or this car, you continue to say it, but internally you are aware. Mind, you keep on liking it, but don't create any situational issue. The sixth neighbor is the ignorance. Beyond that, now go deeper. Sarvesham swastirbhavatu. Sarvesham swastirbhavatu. Sarvesham swastirbhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Your mind is moving inside, or we say rise in awareness, and you reach to a point where your mind declares happiness is the essential nature. That is why you have heard, and you can find lot of articles on the Google. Mindfulness or meditation is effortless and natural. It is only effortless and natural when I am natural. Means when I am a seeker. I am a natural and I want a effortless journey. How it is possible? Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. And if your mind says, oh, peace for all, so let me sleep. So you see that? The impulsive nature caused the problem. No, I was not, I did not get the sleep last night. That's why I'm sleeping in meditation. So we have hundreds of excuses. Why I did not sleep? Because I was busy. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness and all. You are looking at it, you are understanding, because I'm changing the very mechanical and habitual format of meditation practices. Did I change? No. It is all the teachings of our masters. Why? So that one day we don't sit in meditation, but meditation sits in us all the time. What is that? That is awakening. Sarvesham, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. You are not doing anything, you are shifting your awareness and attention. Why? Because you want to touch upon the real self. In a mall with a 50 shop, and you have to buy the thing that you like, so you scan. You shift your attention from one shop. Oh, that is the desire for the real self, and the mind continues to shift its awareness and attention. Auspiciousness. Think, my friend, easiest thing to do in life is meditation. And dropping Shanti on the 16 segments of fingers, casually, normally, with awareness, whatever the mental attitude is there. Can I figure out for you? So if your mind tends to be a little bit emotional, very good. So it will recite mentally like Shanti, and it is very much intellectual. Both are good. It will simply pick up the segment of a finger. It will drop Om Shanti, Om Shanti. But check that you have a space between one Shanti, one Om Shanti, and the second Om Shanti. Why? So if you are aware of the space, obviously your mind, you know that mind is not going anywhere. I did not include any active steps to help you understand that journey of the meditation is just a play and a fun in your life. It is just casual, under casual talking, communicating. continue. My only intention that you should become the light and then you spread the light. Leave aside your age, your profession. Why? Because we all think, speak, and act. Beyond the profession is relationship. So we can spend it. That is what my master did. My master did not set up the institution. Now leave this, move the mind inside the heart, visualize the triangle of any color, move the mind on each side of a triangle, clockwise, anti-clockwise, with the mantra Om Shanti. Continue to see the moment there is a sync, that is the right moment. That is pure awareness. That is the right moment to push the mind, singing mentally deep inside the cave of your heart. Mind seemingly stops. You say Shanti. Everything stops. What cannot stop? Whatever is happening. Can you stop the real self to reveal itself? No. And that is what we are going to experience. But if you are sleeping, if you are struggling, value is not set, then you know the result. We cannot stop what is happening. Happening is nature, is the world outside. And that world is body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego. It is okay. Whatever is happening, you don't identify with it. That is the key point. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand. Bring your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms. Place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. And if you have any question, how you wave up?
Thank you, sir. So mine was calm. It's like things are moving, but I am there, and it was really calm.
Good. Yes, yes, that's a good experience. How are you, Stephen?
Good, sir. Thank you. Today was a reminder of the importance of self-reflecting and focusing on the internal as opposed to the external. And I take away, a continuous takeaway is the importance of easy living because that's internal. And whether it's easy life or difficult life, that's situational and that's external. My meditation was extremely deep that it was almost like multiple levels. I was at different tiers and it just kept getting, I was startled multiple times, not remembering that I was actually in meditation. It was so quiet, it was so deep. And then I was like, what am I doing? And like, oh, this is meditation. And then I just kept going deeper and deeper, and very difficult to come out of it. So thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. It happens. The old habits die hard in the mind, and mind with that subtle ego says what you are doing, where you are. So we just maintain the status quo and see what happens. So you rightly said many layers. Yes, we experience many layers. Even now, I see you. So your mind has a first layer of perception is the physical. Second layer, what you think of me. Third layer, and both the combination. So a lot of stuff is there. Beautifully said. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. My takeaway, the problems will always be there, and we have to remember they are situational, related to the body or the mind, not to the real self. So if any problem disturbs me, I have to just recognize this fact and question myself who exactly is disturbed, and from there self-inquiry starts. And the other point that you mentioned at the end, that our mind amplifies pain and pleasure, even the fact that the pain itself is unreal, as well as the pleasure itself is unreal, the mind makes it even more unreal. So again, you have to recognize that, and this very recognition can reduce the pain and reduce the enjoyment of pleasure to the point where I can separate myself from these and observe them. And my meditation was peaceful, quiet, and calm. Thank you.
Beautifully narrated and explained. I talked about that is what the Dennis is saying, amplification of any object, any person that fills my mind and prevents the easy flow of activity in the thoughts. Do you see that? Do you see that amplification? My master told me, and there was another master who used to say that how many things are there in the world? Innumerable, infinite number, right? Infinite numbers. When you say this is a beautiful girl, so there are millions of beautiful girls, right? Why your mind is focused on only one as compared to trillions of objects? That is amplification. I don't question myself. No, no, I'm in love. Really? You are in love. That needs to be understood. So what happens? You are free. It is not situation. That girl, that boy, that car, that object. You know, so one in that girl as compared to the entire universe is nothing, right? But I made it important. Who made it important? I amplified it. Are you getting it? That causes the attachment, and that causes the delusion. I will die for you. Nobody dies for anyone. Be very practical. How are you, Dan? David and Jerry.
Thank you. Yeah, very, very good to everybody's point about the treatment of the situational. It's the metaphor for me on that is it's kind of like watching TV where if you get attached to the situation, the horror, the drama, the emotion, all that kind of stuff, then you're just doing that. But if you step back and just observe it and watch it, you can enjoy it. So that was my quick metaphor after today's practice. So it was very freeing, very simple, and meditation was deep. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, if we live that kind of a life, think what happens to our life. We are not bragging, we are not declaring that I'm awakened or what. You live your life. Beautifully. Sad, how are you, Jerry?
So I'm good, thank you. Meditation was deep and calm. What came to me was the living wisely. From that perspective, if the world lives in us, then everything is muddy and disturbed. But if we live in the world, then everything passes and it's all just an event.
Yes, yes, I think you brought this point which can easily combine with situation. If the world lives in us, it is all situational. So then I'm stressed, I'm busy, I have a lot of problems to solve. Can you really solve all the problems of the world? Human being, one human being. 6 feet, consider my and David height. 6 feet, one side, ratio to the entire universe. How can I solve all the problems of the world? Make your ego down, then you are free. Then you are free. Then you are free, you are not freaking. So, how are you, Christina?
Thank you. I like that, not freaking. And today what stood out is that you're a problem, you don't have a problem. And yesterday I experienced a professional challenge where someone was yelling at me and attacking and judging and even questioning my beliefs in Eastern wisdom. And I think it's with our practice and meditation and the wisdom, I was able to not lose sight of my real self and really handle it in a way that I never would have been able to handle it before, with calmness and peace.
Beautiful. Open a separate account for me, yes. You see that is simple. When there is a person yells at you and when you refer the Eastern wisdom, you simply say, leave aside, even I don't believe anything. Let me know, do you believe in peace? Do you believe in happiness? Do you want happiness? First you say believe. Second you say, do you Do you want to live in peace and happiness? Are you sure 100%? That is what the Eastern wisdom is. Leave aside everything. Drop everything. So, because when they become the seeker, then only they will listen to you. They will not listen to you in the beginning of these complex and easy principles. They will not listen to you. My master used to say, we used to ask the people, do you believe in God? No. Oh, he had a big laugh and he said, I also don't believe in God, so we are friends. And another guy comes, do you believe in God? Yes, there is nothing but the God. It has not to be situational. Simple example is it has not to be situational. How are you, Barbara?
I'm very good, thank you. My takeaway will you have to act in situations, but step back and not react to situations.
Yeah.
And my meditation was different today because we didn't have that active part of it. And I kind of fell into the meditation immediately, and it was very deep and very peaceful.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You added one more point, step back. Whether you say step back, whether what the Jerry said, David said, Daniel, Stephen, and Weber. That is all, that is how the Eastern wisdom is explained beautifully through many references. Principle is the same. Do you see, the principle is the same? So we normally say we live in the world and the world should not live in us. We say it intellectually, it makes sense. But when you understand through many other references, step back, that is another way. Situational, are you becoming situational, seeking situational happiness? And no, don't seek it. And Christina, pain is pain and pleasure are situational. Why they are situational, hence they are delusion. Situation does not chase me that, come on, take pain, take pleasure. Terry is smiling. How are you, Terry?
Humility and acceptance.
Yeah, yeah. You're moving forward. You're moving forward. That is the beauty. I don't want to remind you. I and Jerry discussed about it. That is wonderful. Continue the journey. How are you, sir? Sir understood that I only say sir to him. Namaste, sir.
Sir, all right.
All right, it is only sir for me. Yes, yes. You are all right. Very good. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर जब बाहर दिखता है कि सब एकदम बदल जाता है, लोग भी बदल जाते हैं, तब पहले दुख होता था बहुत कि लोग हमारे साथ ऐसे क्यों करते हैं, लेकिन जब से आपसे जुड़े हैं तो सिर्फ लगता है कि गुरुदेव और मैं ही सच परमानेंट है, बाकी सब झूठ है.
Yes, I have to translate that into English with reference. It's such a beautiful point she raised. That previously, before attending these sessions, she said, I used to get affected by the relationship and events. Now I am not. Well, it's a summary of the entire session. Now I'm not. Body has a pain. Thank you, body. You gave me the pain to endure it, to remind me. Otherwise, in pleasure, with the easy life, I used to forget it. So every situation educates me, evolves me. Why? Why you say that, you don't get the treatment? Yes, you get the treatment. But you don't get delusional. You learn. Why? You can't change the nature. Nature's operation you cannot change. 66, 67, another 15, 20 years. Why should I worry? Why should I start crying? I will die after 15 years. Don't be serious. I'm telling about myself, I'm not telling about you. You all should live for 200 years. No, more than that. Don't get upset. What Daddy is saying. That is all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.